free. Susan, she'll find it.
Nice to meet you. How are you feeling at this stage of Glastonbury Friday? What's Glastonbury mean to you these days?
I'm pacing myself because I know it's going to be a tough weekend. So I'm feeling good. That's great. It's a really good festival. It's like kind of legendary, isn't it? Really, everyone gets to play there. And everyone has a sort of wild time there. Although we always have to go off and play another festival the next day. But while we're there, we really enjoy it.
It's the first day on the quiet European festival tour. Is it harder for you than doing your own gigs, or is it something that you find quite challenging? It's not necessarily a British audience.
Definitely, yeah. That's what's the best thing about it, you know, that you just getting to play to people that wouldn't necessarily come and see you, maybe, you know, when you've got 70,000 people to play to. So it's good for that, and sometimes there's really good bands on, so you go and see them as well. So it's all in package.
How come you're only playing sort of one day in the UK though? Because I mean, your UK fans are really pissed off.
They are pissed off at us, and they've been complaining on the website about this, but I don't know. I have to refer you to our agent, and he'd have to tell you, because I don't really know why. We weren't able. There's some commitments that we got in August that we can't do any festivals. So obviously that's V2000, or then there's a few in August. So I think that was the basis why we can't work in August. And I don't know. It's a really good question.
Watch your space. You'll be back as soon as you can.
Yeah. You never know. We'd like to change things around. So maybe, like, you know, if we're writing some songs, maybe if we can, I'd love to just do a show. You know, go and play the Monarch or something for a laugh. So maybe we'll do that finally. We can't always talk about
Monarch?
it.
Is there a festival at the Monarch?
No, we'll just play a gig at the Monarch for the hell of it. You won't get any complaints from any London fans.
There's going to be a lot of drum solos at that one. I'll tell you.
Oh, come on, Dave. Get with it. Who knows?
Just talking.
That's a plug for the Monarch.
Going to Glastonbury, just sort of videos. Tell me a bit about the single, because the album itself is.
What? It's a stupid time of year to release it.
Release that.
It's the only thing I think about it. Isn't it a Christmas song? It's a lot of wisdom. It's a lot of wisdom coming out with the summer festival hardcore. I like it.
What was your inspiration behind that song? Tell me a bit about it.
The inspiration behind the song, I think, was that the inspiration behind the song. How good love can be, you know, when it goes right, how sweet it can be, and when people can be at their best for you, because a lot of the time people find ways of letting each other down. So this was a sort of trying to capture that moment when saying someone doesn't let you down, you know, and that thing of pretty when you're faithful, because that's a sort of quality that people like in someone they're going out with. Well,
It's very true, no.
His mum loves it.
It's definitely not, you know, it's not an overrated virtue, is it, within a relationship? It's funny that it's still sort of, fidelity is probably like the central cause for most people having difficulties in relationships, but that's the way it is, you know.
It's obviously not just listening to, if you took that, that's not indicative of the whole album. I mean, it's going back.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't really represent the sound of the album, but then albums are based around, you know, the idea that you can sort of do more than one thing. So.
When you went into the starting point for this album, what did you have a sort of a need to go back to sort of rock roots, to that real sort of regain that ethic that maybe you felt you'd lost that on the last album?
Well, not lost it, we've sort of just gone a different route, and then I think that you know, we'd worked so much with, you know, trying to sort of ironically bleed a bit more Europe into it, and make it a less straightforward American, you know, to have bits of programming and bits of that different textures in there. For some reason, you know, in America it's much more segregated. You know, you get like your hip hop and your rock music and heavy rock, and it's all, you know, we'll have special radio stations for each thing, and it's obviously it's mixing up a little bit, but not that much. So I think that when we then got an American producer with Dave Sardi, and we played it where everyone didn't want anyone other outside influences, so as a four-piece to go in. It's interesting four-piece, isn't it? As a four-piece to go in there to make a direct record. it sort of tends to go. It came out more rock. I mean, there was a quote in the bio when the record came out, where I had said it was such a rock record. It had amazed me that it turned out to be such a rock record. What I meant was that it becomes so direct, and I really had like taken that rock sort of quite seriously, and it wasn't that lateral in certain ways. So I don't know. I mean, it seemed to be quite seemed to be the right record and have a lot of steam. But obviously, when a record like Speed Kills comes out around the time of September 11th, it just took a lot of momentum off the record and made it a bit confusing.
When I correct me if I'm wrong, then there were quite a few tensions that have built up within the band when just as you go, into making this album. Was that almost a healthy thing at the same time?
I think for the last album we spent a lot more time in the rehearsal studio, sort of absolutely kind of nailing each song and really sort of perfecting the song. So you probably do have more, you tend to have more fights about how you think everything should go in that situation. So probably, it's good. It's healthy. I think if everyone agrees on everything, although that could be right, you could all agree this is the best song ever. That would be nice. But I think if everyone just agreed, then you would never try other ways. It's always good to try another way, and there's always an alternative to anything. So it's good for everyone to have an opinion.
Obviously Nigel left. Did you get very frustrated about the constant speculation about Bush really going to go on? How did you
It's
feel?
very frustrating that when people assume that you're going to split up. I mean, it was an absolute and utter non-decision to think that we were going to carry on and keep playing it. I mean, I think Nigel's departure is more to do with the fact that we were going to carry on and keep playing as intensely as we always have, as opposed to being a bit more relaxed and smelling the roses a little bit more. We're kind of more obsessed with playing and being in a band and making records than we are anything else. And I think that may have been part of some of the issues with Nigel's departure. So, for us it was just frustrating, and we even had to have a conversation about not being a band because that was never the issue. It was never an issue for us.
And obviously you've got Chris on board now. Has that brought a new dynamic to the band, and how's it working?
Definitely. Well, he's just really, he's very different from Nigel, different style, which is good because, I think maybe the worst thing would be to try and find someone who plays like Nigel and then we try and sort of work the blueprint. I think it's good for us to just have a whole different approach, and obviously to have someone who's playing lead guitar is going to be quite impactful, so we'll just see how it works. And just having him around has been really easy and pleasurable, and he's great to have around, and the spirit is really good. So
His enthusiasm,
I mean, really for us, this 2 weeks is about just really going out, representing this record as best we could. It's done well, better in certain places than other places, and you just go out and play, do your show, and really it's about it's probably more, these shows are less about promoting Golden State than just representing Bush and just being Bush and just going, check it out, because these shows are pretty good, and if anything it's probably in England where we have the least representation, which is ironic and completely par for the course and completely fucking standard.
Nothing changes.
Absolutely
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
No shock whatsoever. But everywhere else in Europe, we're playing lots of places, lots of really good bills, lots of great places and on the bills, and that's it, And in England, we're opening the Reading Festival. The Glastonbury.
Whatever.
Does that frustrate you though? Because the enemy and the usual music magazines are sort of promoting bands at the moment that are actually quite a
Anything other than
derivative.
UK.
There's lots of non-English bands, and I think
Yeah.
I don't care, that doesn't matter, does it? It's a global world, but
funny,
yeah.
though. It's just
That's a really good
ironic.
point there.
It's
Check it out.
It's quite a derivative Bush sound that they're promoting, but then they won't back you. How do you feel about that?
It'd be lovely to sort of be able to take it out on them, but you never know. It's it's an invisible,
Take them out.
invisible kind of force. So what we always try and do is try and be really good. I mean, what has happened to us is that it was so difficult on our first record because it was so successful that it was just like with those people that you mentioned, they just made it impossible. They ruined the English market for us and Japan all in one set of reviews, right? And then when the second record came, then we had a hit and everything was cool, and we started to return the trend. And then the last two records have been really well reviewed, but not necessarily supported, you know. So I think that all that we've proved is that we're a force to be reckoned with, and that you know, you can ignore us as they have done, but the fact is we'll still be there and still be kind of bubbling and working away. So now it's sort of, again, the focus comes on to the next record. I mean, not really the next single. I mean, we'd be idiots if we thought, oh, this ballad coming out in the middle of a summer festival season is going to like really be the one that break us, you know. It's bullshit, it's bollocks, it's nonsense. But what it does do is show that we're still viable, and really it's just going to be about what we do with Chris. I mean, that's the intention it's going to be on, you know. That's the next hurdle for us.
I mean, for us, these festivals are quite fun because we kind of, it's really nice to meet other bands, whether they're from our own. I'll forget that.
Come on, you said
No,
that
can't be asked. Can't be asked.
That isn't it? I was going to do next.
Huh? Yeah, forget it. Carry on.
Also, like, you know, it's nice to hear that you're very positive about the future of Bush. And again, they're sort of saying, you know, you hit 30 and that's it, you're not a viable rock band anymore.
Mhm.
I mean, age shouldn't really have anything to do with it. I mean,
Right.
not singing up Rolling Stones, but I don't really think what they're doing is good. But,
Right,
you know,
right.
they're still there.
It really depends, doesn't it? How you know how good the records are. I mean,
Funny thing is a lot of these bands have made like the Queens of the Stone Age, who are being, you know, who are having very successful stuff. They're not in their mid-20s or even you know, they're probably
it
approaching.
just comes down
if
to
not,
good records, doesn't it?
you know, sometimes it takes people 25 years, i.e. 0 to 25, to become a good enough musician to make great records, you know, and that's kind of the way it works. And then if you keep on making great records, eventually you're going to reach 30.
Sometimes you're really good at 0.
Yeah, well,
I think, yeah, it's something to do with how good music you're making. I mean, like,
Nice.
the New Order album was great. It was a great album. They haven't made an album for 10 years. But it's still, if it's still relevant and it's better than everything else that's around, then, yeah, whether people buy it or
No,
not, I don't
that's
think
my
people are
point.
talking about whether people are commercially viable. I think the only, you know, artistically viable, and I think if you're making good music, then you always will be.
I mean, on the
Is this Eminem's last record then? On that one, you know?
yeah. Maybe it's last record after the internet fiasco. There you go.
on the positive side, Frank said that this was your best album today. I mean, how do you feel? You have to critique your own albums. How does it feel to you?
I think it's the most complete. You know, I think that all the way along, sometimes it's and the best part about it is the reviews have said, when we've got either really good reviews about this record, and they say the best thing about it is it's a return to form, right? Which on the first record that they killed us on. that's my fun. I was like, wasn't that the one that you really killed? Anyway, you know, it's just madness, and especially the way that records are perceived and stuff. You have to remember that it's just, you know, people's opinions, and you know what that's like. It's really hard because you could have, you know, two people watching exactly the same, you know, event and having completely opposite opinions about it. So we just have to sort of try and do stuff that is relevant and good for us. We'll see.
How did the shape of the songs come together? And talk to me about the creative flow between the bands, you know, as you were working on the album. Was it sort
Well,
of like...
you know, traditionally Gavin writes his songs, you know, with a guitar, with a drum machine in his house, wherever he decides his inspiration is his inspiration. And then the way we've worked generally is to bring them into the arena of the band with their instruments and then, you know, give them wings, for want of a better way of putting it. You know, I mean, the songs are always great. It's just
We are the wind beneath each other's wings.
Yes, yeah.
With the wings of...
We are wind.
But you worked with Dave Sardi, and I read that you said he made you play in a different way. What do you mean by that?
Really
It
self-conscious.
was quite intense. He made you play... He made me play...
Sometimes these quotes are attributed. This sounds like a Dave. Dave said this. He can
We didn't
answer
play
it.
like an English
Because I
band.
still held my guitar the same way. But
I
go on,
did,
Dave.
yeah. He made it, no, I think I think he was very thorough, more thorough than anybody else we've worked with. I think is what I'm trying to say. He made
Anal,
you,
perhaps?
well, possibly, yeah. He was, you know, he was very quite a perfectionist, and it works. I think it's good that we work like that. We'd never really been sort of put through the mill in that kind of way, and I think it made everyone play well, and he worked as hard. And so yeah, it's just a different approach, but that's what I meant.
Lyrically, looking at the inspiration behind it, it still seems to be that sense of dissatisfaction.
Can you
Can't
fucking
get
blame
no.
me?
Can't get no.
Can you blame me?
your general thing?
Unlucky.
Nice car.
Oh,
Oh,
What is that?
that's a
nice.
dead clutch. He's about to come back down the hill. You can ask him. He's on his way back any minute.
Oh, no, oh,
stop driving.
Right, Rob.
Jesus Christ.
Get off of
Get off of that bike.
You're Susan calling to take hands to you, you know, sort of like a relationship.
Do you want to wait till mate is...
And then the sort of more general sense of dissatisfaction. Is it important for you that your music carries a message?
Definitely, I think that see the thing is about it, maybe it's why I like rock music, because it goes hand in hand with like the live show thing. There's more emphasis with that, but I think that you know, half the time, I mean, there is, you know, dissatisfaction. Of course, there's loads of things about my life that I'm really satisfied with, and there's loads of things that everyone feels about they're satisfied with. But maybe when you listen to music and you want, you know, you need that sort of extra dimension, maybe that comes about because things aren't great, or you want to be, you know, you've had a rough day here and there. I mean, everyone has rough days all the time, and so I just think that, you know, unless you sort of, you know, we're like tofu eating vegan, you know, and thinking that life is all wonderful, I think that life is full of struggle. I see struggle all the time, every single day. You can see it along the street. So to me, it's just more interesting to make work about that than to make work about sort of the good things. But there's also really positive things in there as well.
But you've also got the ability to write really great ballads, like.
Thanks.
Is that love question here inspired by any particular situation at the moment? Or?
Yeah, of course. I mean, every situation is easy to say, is inspiring, you know? So yes, that was inspired bits by the love that I have right now.
One more thing, I'm going to ask these questions. You're engaged.
Yeah.
When are you going to come to get married?
I don't know. We're just trying to sort it out. It's kind of difficult because we're both on tour, and so we're working through it. But it's a job in itself.
What, marriage?
Yeah.
Maintaining
Organising it.
celebrity relationship.
Organising it.
Yeah.
The rest is fine. I'd elope. You know, I'm a guy. I'd elope. I don't need any other people around. But it's not so easy the other way around. You know.
We're not likely to see sort of rock and roll wedding of the year
In Shallow magazine.
What's your view on that whole sort of, you know, like even Paul McCartney, you know,
I don't understand.
the,
I don't understand why he would need to do that. I mean, I think that it's really tacky. Why was he done a Hello thing as well? It's like Bowie doing a cover of Hello. Why?
An album coming out. That's
I
why.
mean, no, but when he was married before. I mean, I think that is really rank. It's
Maybe it's
really,
I think sometimes
really
you have no
debasing.
choice.
And I
Maybe
know
it's
for a
like-
fact, I know people that were at that wedding. Now, I don't believe this, but apparently there's a paying bar, first off. So after the wedding, they had a paying bar for 2 hours while at Hello were doing the pictures again. So, first off, I don't believe it. I'm sure that, you know, he must have that much money. He's got to be a paying bar, right? I mean, a free bar. So let's say that is bollocks and a lie. But still, 2 hours, you know, while you do that, it sort of seems to be what's it all about, you know?
What is your day about?
And,
Who you take?
you know, and the way that the cult of celebrity in this country is just so stupid and absurd. And, you know, it's really hard to find the celebrities that are there because they're talented at anything, because they're good at anything. It used to be when I was looking up to all these people that were so-called celebrities, that at least each person did something and had some kind of skill in some kind of way. But now it just seems to be that, I don't know, for the sake of it. So it just seems to be so thinned out and nothing, that it doesn't seem to make any sense. It's like so dilute, you know what I mean? So of course, yeah, we'll be on the cover of Hello. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If the price is right,
You know.
if the price is right. He's just talking himself up now. He's talking the zeros,
Well,
adding
you know.
zeros with every interview.
Posh and Bex.
You can enter competitions.
You know,
to
I mean,
become
with
celeb.
them, I mean, what on earth does he need to have anything to do with that at this point? I don't understand. Is that they're scared that someone's going to forget, you know, that sort of all the.
But
it just makes me want to be sick. That's why I'm in a rock band, you know. We're post-punks, you know. So all that kind of stuff sell out. It just means something to us, but it doesn't mean anything to anyone anymore.
It's almost a double-edged sword because you are going out with someone who's equally as famous as yourself. So it's not just you, but is it also maybe necessitate you going out with somebody because then they understand the pressures that you're...
Well, the thing is that when I first started going out with Gwen, she wasn't. You know, she's blossomed and continues to grow into each day she becomes more and more excellent at what she does and more famous. But when I first started going out with her, that wasn't the attraction because she was just in a band from Orange County that had a really big following in Orange County, full stop. So it wasn't really a big thing. And you know, if I met her today, maybe that might not be the most inspiring fact about it, you know. But that's the way it is. I'm happy for her, you know, of course.
Just one more question directed to yourself. I understand that you've done a solo track for film. Can you tell me a bit about that? Triple X?
Sure, yeah. Well, I went to LA for like 10 days just to see Gwen. We had 3 weeks off in between shows. We don't normally have it that far apart. It's normally about 20 minutes. But so we had 3 weeks off before this European lot started. And I went out there, and then this track came up, and I just got approached. Like our manager called me up and said, "This has come about. There's a guy that I know is a producer out there, Glenn Ballard, had sort of sketched this song, and they asked me to sing it. So I was like, all right. So I went to sing it and sung it. Then got a bit more involved in the music on it. Then I played some guitar in it. Did an acoustic version of it. Shot an advert for it, sort of advert or video kind of thing, with the director of the film. And then I every time I mention it to anyone, I don't know if it's big news here, but it's really big in America because that other one, Fast and Furious, was a big film. So just sung a song. It's kind of fun, you know.
So you're all quite cool about working on your own stuff within outside the...
With or without you.
Yeah, with or without you.
Yeah.
There's the confidence you've got
Well, why the hell wouldn't you? I mean, if someone asked me to play the drums on the track, I don't feel like, you know, I'd have to go around and canvass everybody's opinion. I could just say, by the way, I'm, you know, playing the drums on someone's track. I mean, it's the same with, you know, as far as I was concerned, Gavin can do what he likes. You know, we'll always make music and be a band. And if there's 2 weeks off, there's 2 weeks off. You know, and if he's writing songs, he's writing songs. If he wants to go and do something else, that's fine. You know, I have no, you know, I don't know. I can't speak for Dave. I speak for myself, but you know, he'll just nod.
No, it's
watch.
fine. No, that's fine. I agree. we all do stuff.
I wrote for it.
It's okay. We're musicians. We do music.
yeah.
I think if it starts interfering...
I mean, it would also be different if I'd been sort of hawking myself around film companies trying to ask who had a project and if they, you know, but it just was one of those things that you can wait. I mean, I was waiting for one for all of us to do, for Bush to do. I was hoping for one for the last, you know, 2 years, hoping for a really good film and that could be a really good way of doing it. But nothing came up, and then like just sod's law, it just was right there. And it probably wouldn't have even come about for me if I hadn't have been in LA at that point. It just everything was aligned, so we've done it.
You know, circumstances conspire both ways.
What's the track called?
Adrenaline. The track's called Adrenaline, and it's the lead track for the film, and it's for the end title sequence of this film, and yeah, it's a
slow ballad.
yeah, so it's yeah.
It is, isn't it?
No, it's a fast track. It's a really mellow ballad coming out, and we're gonna release it in the Washington punk scene. See how it gets
You're
on.
gonna change it to lanolin.
We're supporting Fugazi with it. Yeah.
Larium.
So going back to your ballad, I didn't ask you about the video. Tell me a bit about the video. It's got very filmic quality in that. Whose idea was the whole storyline and the whole sort of
Really,
scenario?
Giuseppe Capitondi, who did the video, he sent us a treatment. I mean, in his original treatment, it was this whole thing, because the word faithful was in it, and it was this whole thing about a marriage, and this guy didn't want to get married to this girl, and I was like, first of all, marriage is difficult for me because it looks a bit weird, because I'm sort of maybe get married around the same time, and I didn't want it to look as if in any way I was trying to find a way for the two things to help each other, or something weird, right? That was my cynical, I put on my cynical hat about that. So we changed the thing, and also, so we moved it away from being a wedding. It's meant to be like a graduation, I personally mainly like the art direction, which was, it reminded me of like the Deer Hunter. So it was all set in like blue collar Pennsylvania, and I just imagine like De Niro and Christopher Walken, and you know what I mean, Meryl Streep, and it was all that feel and that wedding scene that they have in there. So that's what I like most about it. And then we changed it to this graduation, and it was just easy for us. We just were there, and we were the wedding band, or the graduation band. We just had, and it was all, and I certainly think that he's really good at shooting alternate, the storylines, and so I think he did a really good job, for that. I mean, if you can either go one of two ways. You can either go right against the vein of the song and do really kind of fast, aggressive, weird stuff to go against the mellow song, or you can do a very filmic, slow, lush piece, which is what we went for.
On the band, it's very intimate setting as well. You are, sort of wedding band. Do you miss that kind of?
Don't miss being in a wedding band.
No, but the sort of intimacy that you would have in that, with not necessarily a wedding.
We
but
do.
in a small.
No, but we do that though. I mean, we do shows. We have intimate shows.
We go from 70,000 on Saturday night, 60,000 on Friday, 70 on Saturday, 900 on Monday
for fun,
in Amsterdam.
For a laugh. We'd like, whatever. Okay, we can have that conversation over and over.
We're playing at a sex club in Amsterdam, so we thought that's okay. We might as well. Jane's Addiction are opening up for us. It's gonna be good.
Thanks very much, guys. I had a great time too.
Thank you
Thanks
all.
a lot.
You're teaching well.
It shall.
Always does.
It will, yes.
Guys, before you go,
Vaguely valid question.
I know.
When you are actually writing your albums, do you try and disassociate yourself from other musical influences? So I sort of read on this one that when you were in the States, you cut yourself off from American influences before, but because you recorded the end part of this album in the States, you were a bit more open to sort of listening.
Yeah, but most of the music in America now is shit. I mean, it's really bad. It's gone really weird. All that sort of rock by numbers and rock posing, and it's just rock is getting a really bad name again. The best thing about rock is the garage scene. That's coming out. At least it's got a little bit of passion, but it's got
almost reversed the type, doesn't it? It almost goes back to horrible. As it gets to that really dirgy, horrible rock thing to have something new come out of it.
rock ballads with people. It's just really horrible now.
Have you been surprised by sort of the success of Coldplay and Travis and that, or the relative success in the States?
They're not rock bands, are they? I mean,
No,
they're-
but I mean, just
Well, those
UK
two
bands.
both.
They're good songwriting.
They're both two bands. I mean, I really like those big songs of those two bands are really excellent and brilliant, really great craft of songwriting, and you hope that it just gets through the scene. Whatever the scene is, they transcend it, which is really cool. So,
A positive thing.
yeah, it's a really positive thing.
Are you pissed off with the American domination of the UK charts?
Well, it's just it's the way it goes. Like you picked up on that point. You say the irony of it is lots of these bands that have influences of us and cite us as influences then get all the support and the help, and then it's just ironic for us. But no, those ones who have the most help from us, they're all right. I don't know. It's just a bit disappointing overall, really. It's always how it is. Just a few good bands, and the rest, you would burn.
Would you mind if you never ever made it really big in the UK? In the same sense as the
Right.
US? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we have.
Well, the thing is that
But
for
you know
us
what I
being a
mean?
rock band, it's really weird because, I mean, we play to like 8,000 people in London. You know what I mean? It's like we're always seen as though it's so second-class citizens for us here, but for a rock band, we do really well. I mean, we do as good as any of the Pixies or any bands that influenced us that I think are amazing bands. We do as well as, if not better than, in terms of pure ticket sales and records. But when people want us to compete with, the sort of idiot charts, when we don't get played on Radio 1, so therefore no one hears us on a mass level, how can we ever be expected to compete on that level because people don't know about us, We're a great secret.
The nature of the beast, unfortunately.
Yeah.